Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Board is now open for roll call. Commissioner Scott has requested an excuse.
I think everyone is here. Yeah, mine, yeah, they're not. Mine isn't either. Commissioner Garza is on his way. Hey, you wanted to do voice roll call? Is up? Mine isn't up yet.
You have a quorum present.
Not up on the screen. Commissioner Scott is excused and Commissioner Garza is on his way. Next item,
Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America.
please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation. Next item, please.
Invocation.
Today we will have our invocation introduction by Commissioner Tim Killeen.
I could tell the difference. Well, good morning, everyone. Happy New Year. Today, I'd like to welcome Reverend Christopher Bodley, the pastor of Bethany Lutheran Church, also known as the Bethany Life Center, located on the east side of Detroit. They're on Outer Drive over there. The ministries of Bethany include a food bank open twice a month, a developing sewing center, which provides education for future employment or entrepreneurship, a weekly English as a second language class for French and Spanish speaking internationals, and a rites of passage program, which provides mentorship to middle and high school boys. I should also mention it's also the place of many, many community meetings. Pastor Bodley is married to his gifted wife, Shakina Bodley, and they recently celebrated their 35 years of marriage with their 5 adult sons. Reverend?
Good morning. Let us pray. Father in heaven, you are great and greatly to be praised. And we thank you that in you we live and move and have our being. We give thanks that you have escorted us into a new year filled with opportunities, possibilities, and actions. As you actively watch and govern our life, we ask that you guide the elected officials and leaders who have assembled in this chamber. We pray that just as you sent your son as a servant leader who cared for all and loved all, we pray that that same spirit of servanthood, grace, and generosity be extended by all those leaders. We ask that just as your son lived and transformed people with the spirit, we ask that the spirits within this chamber demonstrate that same conviction. Pour out your spirit of wisdom and understanding, of counsel and might, of knowledge and the fear of the Lord. May all motivations, decisions, and actions be done to build bridges, to strengthen the weak, and to advance justice, equity, and compassion. We ask this in the awesome name of your Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Thank you, Pastor, for that inspirational prayer. Thank you so much. Next item, Madam Clerk.
Reading, correcting, and approval of the journal.
Vice Chair Pro Tem Baydun.
Move for approval. Support.
Moved and supported. Any corrections to the journal? Hearing none, please vote.
Bless you.
I don't know.
Commissioner Anderson.
Octavia.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Next item, please.
Report from the chair.
There is none.
We are moving to page 2, unfinished business. There is none listed. Offering of all petitions, ordinances, resolutions, and presentations. There are none listed. We're moving to reports from committees, and we are going to start with the Government Operations Committee report, which is on page 18.
Hey, everyone turn to page 18, please. of
There are
the
9 items listed.
Government Operations Report. Before we start that report, let me just remind everyone on Zoom and in the audience that we operate in committee, and all items that are before us today have been vetted at our committee level, and they are here today for final disposition. Government Operations, Commissioner Clemente.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would like to move all items on this report.
Okay. It has been moved by Commissioner Clemente, supported by Commissioner Dobb. Any discussion on the items on the Government Operations Report? Commissioner Baker McCormick?
Madam Chair, item number 4, is there anyone to discuss what we're doing around this, providing legal consultation for toxic waste matters?
Okay, Sue?
Good morning, through the chair, Sue Hamu, Deputy Corporation Counsel. The Zosmer Law Firm was retained to assist the county with respect to hazardous waste material, and we intervened in a lawsuit currently pending in the Third Circuit Court against WDI and the transport of hazardous waste from the New York site.
And is there like a current status of that?
Sure, the litigation is still pending currently. As a matter of fact, last night, Jim and I reviewed a brief that's due that is being filed in that matter. So there is currently a injunctive order that prohibits the waste from being transported.
Thank you.
Thank you. For item number 3, we have the pleasure of joining us today, Chief Judge Broussard from the Third Judicial Court. Judge, if you would like to speak to item number 3, please.
Good morning and welcome, commissioners. Again, we, on behalf of my court, we are very proud and honored to be working with you and partnering with you. We are so very grateful that you are considering the needs of our court. As the busiest and most productive court in this state, we work with you, and we have been hardest hit because of the volume that we handle with COVID. And so at one point we were 4,000 trials behind in criminal. We were 40% down in workforce, and it was quite a struggle. To paint a picture, we had to address all of those needs of the citizens of this county and their needs in court, and for the court to handle all their legal matters with a workforce that was working 2 or 3 jobs with, in each person because of a 40% reduction in workforce and all the illnesses that COVID caused. But because of your help and support, we are coming back strong. As you probably know, that 4,000 criminal backlog is done. We handle about 50,000 cases through all our divisions per year. And the fact that you recognize us and our need to have parity, because we were under a contract that did not give our employees parity. And they have indicated to me how very much appreciative they are of you and the team at the county in recognizing their hard work and their needs, and that they will be treated equally to the other departments in this county. And we are, as a team, working hard to ensure that we use every penny that we have been given wisely, and that we are now down to a 17% workforce shortage instead of 40%, and it is making huge differences in how we serve your constituents in our county, and we are very grateful. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Judge. Before you go, any questions for Chief Judge before she sits down? Any questions? Let me just say, Chief Judge, there's a question. Come back, please. We understand how COVID almost decimated several departments, especially our judicial system here in Wayne County being the largest court, Third Circuit Court being the largest circuit court in the state, and how many cases that you all have. So I'm glad that we were able to put this forward to, like, as you stated, give parity for our employees and reduce the lack of workforce that you had. So hopefully that 17% will go down to 10 to 5 to fully being employed. So thank you for your diligence and your hard work in getting this to us. There's a question by Commissioner Baker McCormick.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just wanted to understand where you were as far as the security. Last year, there was a real problem with that. Is that rectified, or are you?
Well, thank you so
still-
much for asking that
Yeah.
question, Commissioner, because that is a very important issue. We are very concerned about the security of the citizens who come into our courthouses, as well as the employees in our courthouses, as well as our judges. There have been judicial threats against judges, and it is an issue. Unfortunately, as you probably know, the Sheriff's Department has also been hit hard by workforce shortages, and it has caused an issue in that the county has decided that it needed to supplement the security that by statute should be covered by the Sheriff's Department, covering our courts by Allied Private Security. And that contract is up in March. And it's my understanding that there will be a request by the county to renew that contract for 1 year. It is our sincere hope that that will be the last contract, and that the Sheriff's Department will be also increasing their workforce sufficiently so that the state statute that requires that we have sheriffs in our courts to secure our courts and all the people who work in the courts are sufficient by a year from March, for sure, so that we don't have to renew it again. Thank you. Any other questions?
Thank you, Chief Judge. Any additional questions on any of the items on the government operations report? Any discussion for government operations? Hearing none, please vote.
Motion carries.
Okay, thank you so much. Next item.
We're moving back to page 2 of the agenda. Report A is from the Committee on Economic Development. There are 8 items listed.
Commissioner Anderson?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would just ask for support for the approval of those items. There are a number, I think 6 of those items are, the first 6 are just receive and file. And the committee met on those, and the action issues were 7 and 8. And I just asked for approval of all of those items.
Support.
Been moved and supported. Any discussion on the economic development report? Commissioner Kenlock?
I would like to be the maker of the motion on item number 8.
Duly noted.
Commissioner Knieze?
Fine.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Similarly, with the committee chair's permission, I'd like to be the maker of the motion on item 1. And because we're on economic development and because Inkster is being mentioned, I'd be remiss if I didn't just say how grateful I am for our economic department and our director, Hassan Sheikh, for some of the work that he's been doing the last couple of weeks in support of the city of Inkster. We had a great phone call late last evening on my drive home from Lansing, and him and his team have been really hard at work supporting our Inkster community. So I just wanted to lift that up and express my gratitude to him and his team today. Thank you, Madam Chair.
That item number 1, Commissioner.
Additional, Commissioner Garza, are you requesting to speak?
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. Just like to be listed as an abstention on items 2, 3, 4, and 5.
3, 4, and 5.
No discussion on economic development. Hearing none, please vote.
Motion carries. Have Commissioner Garza as an abstention on items 2, 3, 4, and 5. Commissioner Kinlock, maker of the motion, item number 8. Commissioner Kenizik, maker of the motion, item number 1.
Thank you. Next item.
We are on Report B from the Committee on Public Services. There are 19 items listed on pages 3 through 10 of the agenda.
Commissioner Marecki?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to move all the items for approval.
Moved by Commissioner Marecki, supported by Vice Chair Pro Tem Baydoun. Any discussion on the Public Services Report? Commissioner Marecki?
Madam Chair, I'd like to have Commissioner Clemente be the maker of the motion on number 3 and Commissioner Kinlock on items 19 and 20.
Okay. Commissioner Garza?
Abstention to item number 8, please.
Number 8. Okay, Commissioner Anderson?
Madam Chair, I just wanted to ask if I could be the maker of the motion for item 4.
Sure.
Pardon me. Number 8 also. Thank you.
Number 4 and number 8. Additional discussion for the Public Services Report? Okay, hearing none, please vote.
Motion carries. I have maker of the motion, item number 3, Commissioner Clemente, 4 and 8, Commissioner Anderson, 19 and 20, Commissioner Kinlock, and an abstention by Commissioner Garza on item number 8.
Thank you. Next item.
We're on Report C from the Committee on Ways and Means. There are 10 items listed on pages 10 through 12 of the agenda.
Commissioner Kinlock?
Madam Chair, I move approval of the entire report.
By Commissioner Kinlock, supported by Vice Chair Pro Tem Baydoun. Any discussion on the Ways and Means Report? Any discussion on Ways and Means? Please vote.
Motion carries.
Item.
We are on Report D from the Committee on Health and Human Services. There are 7 items listed on pages 12 through 17.
Commissioner Killeen?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yes, the committee is reporting 7 items today. Items 1 through 5 are the monthly adjustments for our CMOs, providing services to our youth. Item 6 is a request for a contract to bring a mentoring program into the youth home, juvenile detention facility. And the committee had a nice long discussion on this one. And item 7 is just there was an error at the end of the date. This was already approved, but we had to correct the error for the end of the date of the contract. So that's just a Scribner's error. So I'll move items 1 through 7. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Support.
Right, moved by Commissioner Killeen, supported by Commissioner Baker McCormick. Discussion, Commissioner Kinlock?
Madam Chair, I'd like to be the maker of the motion on items 2 and 3 of this report.
Thank you. Any further discussion on the Health and Human Services Report? Okay, please vote.
Motion carries. And Commissioner Kinlock is the maker of the motion on items 2 and 3.
Next item, please.
We are on Report E from the Committee on Audit. There is 1 item listed.
Commissioner Dobbs?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to move the entire report for receive and file.
Moved by Commissioner Dobbs, supported by Commissioner Garza. Any discussion on the item under the audit report? Any discussion for the audit report? Hearing none, please vote.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Next item.
We are on Report F from the Committee on Public Safety, Judiciary, and Homeland Security. There are 4 items listed.
Commissioner Clark Coleman?
Yes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move approval on items 1 through 4.
Been moved by Commissioner Clark Coleman. Is there support? Supported by Commissioner Garza. Any discussion? Commissioner Anderson?
Thank you, Madam Chair. And I just wondered if there was anyone here on this issue. I just wanted to ask a quick question. Maybe somebody else could answer. This 9/11 plan, I know it's looks like a consolidation of the different locations in the county and putting them under one umbrella group. And from what I can understand, and notifying the state of that consolidation of all those. And the other question I wanted to ask is it possible, or when there's an increase in 9/11 fee, does it come back before the full commission, or does it go to the voters, or can they, this district, can they make that decision on their own?
Sure. Commission Counsel.
So through the chair to this honorable body, the State 911 Committee performed an audit of the county's 911 services. This resolution is to get us in compliance with their findings. The county has always had 4 separate districts that's created by the county. So this resolution essentially reaffirms the fact that we have 4 districts throughout the county and their structure. It's my understanding that the 911 districts will be in the near future looking to update their plans because many of their plans are older, and some of those actions that they do take do come back to this body.
Would that also include any increase in the 9/11 charge?
Commissioner, let me get back to you before I tell you. I think the answer is yes, but let me confirm and I'll get back with you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Palmieri?
Thank you, Madam Chair. On the same topic, Counselor, does items 1 and 2 address the concerns raised by the Downriver Community Conference and Downriver Mutual Aid? I believe they do, but I just want to confirm that.
Yes, the initial approval of this, we inadvertently, somewhere along the line, a line got deleted, which left off community. So this is actually just correcting that. So yes, it is addressed.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any additional discussion on the public safety report? All right, hearing none. Please vote.
Motion carries.
Okay, we're going to the addenda.
You want to go to the addenda now? We are moving to the addenda. New business, immediate consideration. There are 2 items listed. Item number 1 is requesting commission approval of a 1-year grant agreement between the Charter County of Wayne and the Michigan Department of Corrections.
Okay, I'm not sure who's here to speak to this one. Hello, it's Miss Ebony. Description of what this is and why it's here for immediate consideration.
Good morning, through the chair, Division Director, Ebony McCann, Division Director, Department of Health, Human Veteran Services.
Good morning to the Chair, Lester Thomas, Administrator, Adult Community Corrections.
The department is requesting immediate consideration for the receipt of grant funds for the fiscal year 2025 grant agreement from the Michigan Department of Corrections. These funds are used to provide programming funding for our Adult Community Corrections Division. We offer domestic violence programming that takes place in the jail and out of the jail, cognitive behavioral based curriculum that takes place inside of the jail. We offer drunk driver jail reduction, adult fugitive apprehension, and adult GPS tether services. Additionally, this year, which will be coming in front of this body at a later date, we are pleased to announce that we have finally identified a vendor to provide our violence prevention program, which will assist us with addressing gun violence in the community. Individuals that benefit from these programs have all been sentenced to a term of probation by a Third Circuit Court judge, and they are adult felony offenders. The funds were received and reviewed by the Community Corrections Advisory Board on November 13th. And we are here today as we have finally matriculated through the process. We need to receive approval, or we are respectfully requesting approval for these funds so that we can pay our vendors that have provided these services.
Very good. Any questions to Ms. McCann? Any questions? Okay, thank you. We'll take the next item and then we'll take them both together. Next item?
Item number 2 is requesting commission approval of a retroactive 26-month memorandum of understanding between the Charter County of Wayne and the Prosecuting Attorneys Association of Michigan, not to exceed $150,000 to provide paid interns to the prosecutor's office.
Good morning, Madam Chair and members of the commission. I'm Tony Guerrero, Chief of Legislation, Grants and Community Relations for the Wayne County Prosecutor Kim Worthy. This item is before you, and this is another example of the prosecutor seeking grants so as not to put any more strain than there is on the general fund. This particular agreement will be for $150,000. It will provide paid interns to the prosecutor's office to reduce the case backlog and also to promote prosecution as a career. The MOU is funded by a grant agreement from the state of Michigan, and that grant agreement was approved by this commission on resolution number 2024-354. We're very, very happy to get any assistance in reducing the backlog. The police departments all across Wayne County have been extremely cooperative with us, and Madam Prosecutor is putting a serious dent in that backlog. I'll answer any other questions that might be.
Thank you. Any questions for Tony? Commissioner Clark-Holman?
Just a comment, the prosecutor did appear before our committee and kind of brought us up to snuff as to what the initiatives that they're taking over there. And I'm very excited about this, a paid internship, because normally those are unpaid, but they found a way to provide funds so that we can pay them this. And it's hard on students to be able to serve internships and not get any funds in return. So I want to thank the prosecutor for coming before our committee to update us on what's going on in the prosecutor's office, as well as to talk about the internship program.
We're very grateful, Commissioner.
Thank you. Any, Commissioner Baker McCormick?
I just wanted to know if there is a partnership with the individual college or school that you're getting the interns from, or how are you getting them?
Good question, Commissioner. And not a formal partnership, but because we were so strapped for funds in the past, we were not able to attend various, I'm going to use the term job fairs for the prosecutor's office. But with the cooperation and the assistance of this commission, the prosecutor's been able to send a small crew out to various locations outside the state even. And I'm very proud to report on behalf of the prosecutor that we've had now interest been given to us by young attorneys as far away as California. So all I can say is prosecutor is working really hard to put our office way up here as the place where people want to be. You know, I'll keep quiet in a second, but before the pandemic, if you were a Wayne County prosecutor for just a couple years, you could try a case anywhere in the state, and a lot of them outside the state. And that's been a real mark for us as far as the recruiting. Thank you. Thank you for those questions.
Thank you. We appreciate the prosecutor being innovative, making sure that she seeks funding and resources wherever there is throughout the state to make sure that her office continues to operate efficiently. Any
Thank you,
additional
Madam Chair.
questions for Tony? All right, Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, entertain a motion for items 1 and 2. I think we already have one, moved by Commissioner Kinlock, supported by Commissioner Clark Coleman. Any further discussion on these 2 items? Hearing none, please vote.
Wilson. Okay. Commissioner Wilson.
It's a yes. All right.
Motion carries.
Thank you so much. Back to page 20.
We are returning to page 20, upcoming meetings.
Please note the upcoming meetings. We have Committee on Rules today at 12:30. And the Youth Council is also meeting this evening at 6 p.m. And then take note of the meetings for next week.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
Okay, yes, in consultation with management and budget, I will be having conversations with you as it relates to that communication. So there may be a possibility of postponing the Ways and Means meeting after I have a conversation with you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Next item.
We are on page 21 of the agenda, new business. Item B, testimonial resolutions and certificates of appreciation. There are 4 items listed.
Okay, is there a motion to approve the resolutions and certificates of appreciation? Moved by Commissioner Morecki, supported by Vice Chair Pro Tem Baidoon. Any discussion on these 4 items? Hearing none, please vote.
Motion carries.
All right, next item.
We are on memoriams. There are 4 names listed on the agenda and 1 on the addenda.
Okay, on the first 4 on the agenda, is there any discussion on the first 4 on the agenda? And of course, we want to note that Mayor O'Reilly from Dearborn passed away during the early part of the year, and we want to continue to keep his family in our prayers. Commissioner Anderson? Oh, you're fine. Okay, Vice Chair Pro Tem Baidoon.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Before I make my remarks about my good friend, Mayor O'Reilly, today I'm overwhelmed with grief and emotions as I make these remarks about the passing of my hero and my friend, my father, Haj Namir Baidoon. My dad was 88 years old and he went to heaven this past Monday on my late mother's birthday. He was laid to rest yesterday and buried next to her in the city that he loved the most, his birthplace of Bint Jbeil, South Lebanon. My dad came from humble beginnings in Lebanon, a place that shaped his character and instilled in him values that he would pass down to each of his children. He and my mom faced challenging economic circumstances, yet they embraced the opportunity to raise 9 children in an environment filled with love, resilience, and hope. My dad was employed by the water department in my native city. His job was to inspect and repair the water meters for all the residents in the city. In August of 1978, at the height of the Lebanese Civil War, we landed in Michigan to begin a new life. In the early 80s, he moved back with my mom when things got better in Lebanon. For several years, he traveled back and forth between Lebanon and the US. My dad was a proud American citizen and he voted in federal and local elections when he lived here. In 2005, he was elected by residents in our section of the city to be their Mukhtar, which is somewhat equivalent to a mayor in our system. He was re-elected several times and he passed away holding that title. My dad never charged residents for his services, which included issuing and notarizing documents, while others in similar positions did that. He was truly a public servant who loved to help others. Although he never had the opportunity to vote for me, he was beaming with pride when I was first elected in 2018. 2 weeks ago, my brother logged in to the county commission meeting to watch my ceremonial swearing in, and my dad was able to see me take the oath of office. Finally, I would like to thank all of my colleagues and other commission staff and my entire Wayne County family who reached out to me through phone calls, text, or messages of condolences on social media. May God bless all of you and bless the souls of your loved ones who are in heaven. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you so much, Commissioner. Let me at this time do this. We do have a memoriam signed by all of the commissioners. We know how difficult it is when we lose a parent. We want you to know that we're with you, that we give you our sincerest condolences, and may this be a part of ours, recognizing how important your father was to his country and to you as a father and son. So God bless you, and let's give Sam, you and your family in our prayers. There are services today and on Saturday, so persons who are able to come and give condolences to the entire family, that would be wonderful. We want you to have that though today at our meeting. And I know you want to speak about Mayor O'Reilly as well. We did have a memoriam for Mayor O'Reilly during his services earlier this year, but if you want to speak to him as well.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. Again, it's with great sadness that we remember Mayor John B. Jack O'Reilly Jr., a leader who gave so much to the city of Dearborn and its people. He dedicated over 30 years of his life to serving the city of Dearborn, including 15 years as a mayor. Mayor O'Reilly spent most of his life in public service, improving our city and building connections that made a difference. He was well known for his commitment to improving our city, from overseeing the construction of the John D. Dingle Transit Center to cutting through bureaucratic red tape and to make the city run more efficiently. He always put Dearborn and its residents first. He worked hard to make Dearborn a better place for everyone, and his impact will be felt for years to come. I had the honor of working closely with him during his 2017 campaign, which I helped manage. My good friend Tony Guerrero was part of that team also. It was during that time that I saw firsthand not only his incredible dedication, but also his kindness, humility, and love for Dearborn and its residents. Mayor O'Reilly was more than a leader. He was someone who deeply cared for the people he served and always strived to do what was best for them. His dedication, leadership, and passion for Dearborn will always inspire us. Our thoughts and prayers are with his family during this difficult time. Thank you again, Madam Chair.
Thank you so much. And again, we are condolences to the residents of Dearborn for the loss of Mayor O'Reilly. Any additional comments on memoriams listed or any names to add? At this time, if everyone in the chambers could please stand for a moment of silence. Thank you so much. And our condolences always to family members who have lost a loved one to gun violence. There was an incident at a school yesterday in Nashville, so we want to just keep those affected by gun violence in our prayers. And again, to Commissioner Baydun, our prayers are with you and your family. I know it was difficult to have the burial of your father yesterday in Lebanon and you here in the States, but we'll keep you and your family in our prayers. Next item.
Public comments.
Anyone on Zoom for public comments? Anyone on Zoom for public comments? Anyone on the telephone for public comments? If you have public comments, you do have 2 minutes. Anyone on Zoom or on the telephone? Anyone in chambers for public comments?
I have one card.
Okay, one card. Hold on, we'll read the card.
Robert Pulowski.
Okay.
Good morning.
Morning.
Madam Chair. Happy New Year.
New Year.
Most of you know me, Robert Plowski. I'm the former youth council member representing District 15, most of the downriver communities. I'm also a proud alumni of the class of 2022, 2023. I'm also from Southgate, Wayne County. Today, I'm here speaking on an issue that I really didn't think I'd have to come here and speak on today. Support for the Youth Council. Over the last few meetings, I've seen Youth Council as mostly the topic of discussion, witnessing the lack of support and discussions of cutting its funding and programs. I'm deeply and strongly opposed to this. Reducing funding would not just harm its operations, it could threaten its very existence for youth existing. As a former youth council member, I know the ins and outs, and plus I have a huge background because I worked with my students to pass a wonderful resolution on economic oppression, and it unanimously was passed by most of you commissioners here today. Most of you in this room have inspired me and shaped my passion for public service, and I'll never be able to forget that. And I have a lot of utmost respect for staff and commissioners here in this room today. This program was designed to engage young people in county government, and it succeeded. Every student deserves the same chance that I had, but cutting its funding and risks dismantling these opportunities for everyone in Wayne County. We must invest in these programs that empower youth, not abandon them. This certificate means something here today, and I want to spread the word that this is a program worth investing in. And this signature right down here from my commissioner will always have impact in my life, and you will always have my respect, sir. With all due respect, let's put aside all of the drama and refocus on the people's work. I urge you to preserve, but increase the funding for the Youth Council and ensure future generations have the benefits that I did going forward. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, sir. And we don't engage in back and forth during public comments, but I will deviate from that for one moment. I'm so sorry that you've been misinformed. There's been no reason, no act, nothing to dissolve or to reduce the funding of the Youth Council. So I'm so sorry if you've been misinformed on that. So thank you for your comments. But for the record, for those on the audience listening and in the chambers, that's totally incorrect. So thank you so much for coming. Anyone else for public comments? Hit the little button on the bottom.
Thank you, Madam Chair. My name is Nick Griswold. I am the Executive Director of GrowthWorks of Plymouth, and we're one of the CMOs that provide services to at-risk kids. I see I have 2 minutes. I only need one. So Chair Bell and Commissioners, I just wanted to thank you for supporting the contract adjustment that you voted on earlier today in Report D. And I wanted to thank you for your continued support of the systems and the organizations that work with at-risk and court-involved kids across the whole county. Thanks for your work with juvenile, the work of Juvenile Youth Services and the Executive Administration. Director Fernandez was here earlier. I saw she had to step out, but we thank her. This forward-thinking program and this public-private partnership continues to show strong success in turning the lives of vulnerable kids around, even 25 years after its inception. And I'd like to invite all of you to consider visiting our offices in Plymouth and get to meet the staff that do the real work. That's not me. There's others that do the actual work of making a lasting impact in the lives of the kids and their families. So I just wanted to say thank you and offer that opportunity for you to join us out at our Plymouth offices sometime. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us today. Thank you so much for the work that you do for the young people in our communities. Thank you. Last call for public comments. Public comments. Next item.
Reconsiderations,
There are none.
remarks by members,
Remarks by members. Any members wishing to give remarks at this time? Any members wishing to give remarks at this time? It's not coming up, but Commissioner Baker McCormick.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to comment on Robert and what he was most likely alluding to. You know, we went back and forth about the Tigers game night and why we wouldn't fund it or the participation of youth. So I believe that is probably what he was alluding to. So no, we're not eliminating the programs and all of the other activity, but he did participate in the Tigers game. And so that's probably what he was alluding to. And at tonight's youth council meeting, if anyone would like to join us, please do. We have a financial literacy session for them tonight. We try to make sure that they're well-rounded, and so you're welcome to come and join us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, move adjournment.
I'm not done with remarks by members. Just joking. I don't have any more remarks. Any more remarks by members? Hearing none, I have none either. So Commissioner Kinlock, I will entertain your motion to adjourn.
adjournment.
Thank you so much. Meeting adjourned. Thank you.